Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. This is gonna be something I've been thinking about doing for a while, but I just didn't know what to do or how to start it. This is basically just books I would sell my soul to read again. And it's not because it's like they are my favorite books of all time. It's more of just what I felt while reading them. Because I do have books that are like my all-time favorites, which I do plan on making a video of that in the future. And some of these might be on it, but I don't want to spoil that part. But it was just the impact of these books that I just was like, this is worth it. And some of them made it so the series is just that much better to actually want to keep going because they were such a game changer. I only have 5. I'm going to talk about some of them. I'm not going to try and go into spoilers for any of these. First one on here, I don't actually own the physical copy anymore because I lent it to someone and, well, they still have it. It's ironic because I'm talking about selling my soul, and this book doesn't fit that because it's evil. And that is The Exorcist. Now, The Exorcist, I watched the movie. It's a classic movie. I watch it almost every year for Halloween during spooky season because it's just so good. But now when I watch it, it's just, I laugh because when the girl's like flying up and down, it was like a video of dubstep, and it was just, anyway, when I read The Exorcist last year was the first time I ever read it, and I decided to read it. Wow. That book, I don't even know how to describe it, but it was so good. It was just amazing of how well written that book was, and the power was behind that, because there was a few scenes when the father showed up, and just the way he talked about the presence of the father, you know, that is just, I don't even know how to describe it, but it was just such an amazing book that I wish I could get to relive that experience again reading that book, because I read that book in like 3 days and it scared the crap out of me. The raw power behind what that book was doing made it so you wanted to just experience it again. And I was told there's a sequel, but I don't want to read the sequel because I don't think it's going to live up to the standards of the first one. And that's why I struggle with sequels to such great novels like this. So that's why I just don't want to mess with it. And with The Exorcist, it was just so good. The way he does the layers of you actually learn these characters before things get serious. It was like the first 100 pages where things just were kind of slow. You're learning about the mother and the daughter and stuff. That once things start getting real, it gets real fast. And obviously the movie didn't do as well because it's a movie. But, oh man, it was just so good. And I wish I could experience that one more time. Just the feeling of reading it and just, wow. So the second book on my list, so the rest of them I do have the actual copies. For The Exorcist, I actually want to get a first edition. So if you guys have a first edition, let me know. I might be interested. Anyways, so this book, I bought it because the title just cracked me up. And I was like, there's no way this is true. They both die at the end. Now, this book, no idea what it was about. I was like, there's no way this is actually real. There's no way people actually die in the end. There's no way he would make a title and make it that simple. Well, spoiler, they both do die at the end, just saying. But this book, reading it, like I just bought it because of the title. I didn't really think about the cover or anything because I obviously have no idea. But holy crap, this book was amazing to read. I actually thought about rereading it because it was so good, and maybe I will. But holy crap, this book is just, it makes you really think about life differently. It really shows you that anything can happen in your life. You should actually live with purpose in your life, where every day you should strive to be something better because you don't know when your time is going to come. And that's what this book teaches you. And you realize about love quickly, and you realize that these two characters are soulmates. Like, both of them experience different things, but then they come together to be like buddies because that's what it has in the app. But then both the guys, they, you know, fall in love, and it's really sad. This book just really just, oh man, I don't know how man, this book was really rough to read because I was reading at work, and then I would take it home and just binge it because I couldn't stop reading it because it was so good. And the whole time I kept thinking, There's no way they're gonna die at the end, because it's like there's 15 pages left. They're not gonna die, and then it finally happens, and you're just like, oh my gosh, I need to survive. But that's just how it works in this world. And like I said, reading this book was just wow. I couldn't imagine a world like that where you get to basically meet your soulmate, the person who you love, and you spend 24 hours with them. You fall in love with them, and then you die. It's so sad. And wow, I couldn't imagine it. In this book, wow. Like I might do a reread, but the problem is it's not gonna feel the same. That's why I'm like, man, I don't for one, I don't like to do rereads, because the feeling that I wanted to do originally, that feeling is never there again. And sadly, that's what I think would happen with, they both die at the end, sadly. So this one is interesting. I've always been one of those people that like didn't care for Harry Potter, and everyone used to tell me that I need to read the books to have a full opinion of it before I just talk about how it's trash. But so what I did is I would buy one copy at a time and read it, and they all were hardcover. And then I would, after I read one book, I would watch the movie, so on and so forth. And holy crap, I read The Prisoner of Azkaban, and this is personally, I think this is the best Harry Potter book. Of all 7, this is the best one, because I'm not a big fan of YA in general, but this book really just sets the tone of a huge twist of just how dark you can make Harry Potter. Well, I mean, for a YA book, how dark you can make it. And that's what I like with this book. It really turns everything over, and it just made the book incredibly well. Like, the first 2, I was like, I'm still a little iffy. But this book, I read this book in a day, because I couldn't stop reading it. And it became my favorite character, ended up becoming Sirius Black, which, RIP. But, holy crap, this book was just amazing. And the experience I felt with this book, I don't think I could ever relive that again. Like, I thought about rereading the Harry Potter series just for like palate cleansers, because you got the first 3 are pretty short, like, and you know, they're double space and, you know, big font. So I thought about rereading them. I don't think I could, because like, especially this one, I don't think it's gonna feel the same. It's just like the other 2 books. The experience won't be there. So that's why I struggle wanting to reread these books. But holy crap, this book was so good. This is, like I said, is the best one of all of them. I don't care what anyone says. This is the best one. This is the best book of Harry Potter, hands down. The only thing that I don't like is what J.K. Rowling does in her books, is she does these cool things, and then the next one, you just forget that happens. Like how Hermione can like time travel, and Dumbledore's like, here, now you can do all these classes. Like that. That's the problem. We're not going to get into those parts, but this book in general is a banger. Maybe I'll do like a Harry Potter ranking video sometime, because I could tell you guys what my opinion are, from the worst to the best, or best to the worst. Maybe I will. Anyways, yep, this is by far my favorite one. So this is a series that a lot of people struggle with reading until like book 3. A lot of people that either haven't read it yet and want to get told, oh, book 3 is when it gets good. Personally, I like all of them. I did all the audiobooks for them, and they're still really good. When I first read the first one, I thought it was phenomenal. Well, not phenomenal. I gave it like a 3.5 out of 5 stars. I thought it was pretty good for a first time, you know, a debut novel. And you can see his writing was progressively better through each book. So maybe that's why everyone says book 3 is when it gets good. Personally, I liked book 1. I thought it was fun. But I'm talking about the friggin' Dresden Files. And this book changes everything about me when it comes to the Dresden Files, because I can't go into spoilers, but this is the 11th book. Now, is Changes the best book in Dresden Files? Maybe. But I'm just saying Changes is really good. It's because how the Dresden Files is, he introduces characters and they show up and then they leave and they show up again in a couple other books later. So it's always different. And this book is like a conclusion to something that needed to be done, I guess, in a way. And oh man, this book really, really took a toll on me. After I finished reading this book, I had to like sit back and just wait, because I was like, this is just too much. But Changes is so good. I really liked, I like the Dresden Files a lot. I really do. It's one of my favorite fantasy series of all time. But Changes might be my favorite one of that whole series. And there's 17 of the damn things. Changes is just, I don't even know how to explain it because I don't want to spoil anything. So it's like, I'm kind of just telling you guys why without explaining why, if that makes sense. But Changes is just really good. It changes a lot of things, that your views on everything is just, you really feel bad for Harry in this book and just what he has to do. And you're like, oh, damn, you just feel bad. But oh man, highly recommend the Dresden Files. The last book, I bought it last year because I follow this celebrity, this author, actress, whatever. I follow her on Instagram, and I didn't know she wrote a book, and she did, and I was like, that's such a weird title. And I thought it was gonna be, I don't know why, I thought it was like gonna be like a comedy title, but I really liked the cover, and I bought it, and I read this book in a day, and holy crap, just the raw emotion, everything you felt about it, wow. This book just, it makes you just really think differently. And wow, and sorry, I'm glad my mom died. Like, wow, I don't even know how to like explain it. Like that book is just so good. It's really short. Jeanette McCurdy does such a good job at writing, and you learn everything in her life of what happens with her mother, what happens in Nickelodeon, just everything in her career. You learn so many things that is just behind the scenes that you never really knew about. You never knew about what she was doing, her eating disorders, the whole time because of her mother, because the way that she had to portray herself in iCarly and all these other movies and stuff, and she had to try and keep herself to look young and everything because her mother was teaching her these ways, and the way she was getting manipulated to do all these things to become a better actress, just doing like just crying just because. Reading how she's recovering is just so good. I couldn't put the book down because it was just amazing. And I thought about doing a reread, but it's like, I know what happens. It's just, wow. I couldn't, I don't even know. I know I don't read, like, I think this is technically considered an autobiography. And I don't read autobiographies that much, but like I said, I'm a fan of Jeanette McCurdy, so I was like, all right, whatever, I'll check it out. And I read the book, I'm like, wow. Like, she was explaining all these crazy things that was going on in her life, but you didn't get to see behind the scenes, and then she finally shows it. You're like, whoa, this is crazy. So like, it makes sense why she took a backseat from acting, and now she wants to pursue just being a writer, and she killed it as a writer, like, honestly. And now it's like, wow. And so now, like, whenever she writes her next book and gets it published or whatever, I actually want to read it and check it out, because if it's as good as this one, I'm going to continue reading it. I don't really care what she writes. I would just want to read it, see how good it is, because wow. And it's like, in this book, she actually wanted to be a writer to begin with, which is, I thought it was so cool. And then her mom said, no, you're going to be an actor. So yes. So those are my 5 books that I would sell my soul for, to read again, to experience that feeling again. And these are all great books. I highly recommend everyone to read them. Not obviously the series ones, obviously you gotta read the series, but I do highly recommend you guys to check out these series, check out these books, read them, because they are really good. They will change your view on a lot of things in life, and that's what's important. These books just, wow. I mean, these standalones, read the standalones. I mean, read The Exorcist for Halloween. There you go. Read I'm Glad My Mom Died, just whenever, and they both die at the end, because they are both just bangers. And then obviously read the series of Dresden Files and Harry Potter. I mean, you should probably, of all of them, you guys probably already have read Harry Potter, but I'm just saying in general, these books are so good, and I don't think you guys should like tiptoe around them, I would check them out. Highly recommend all these books. If you guys made it to the end of the video, thank you. I do appreciate it. Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe. Check out all my links down below. And make sure you guys stay safe, stay hungry, and tell someone you love them. I'll see you guys in the next video.